This is a Spyderco salt that I've had for a very long time. It originally came with a sabre-hollow grind and a distinct apex bevel, as is common on a lot of factory knives, or even production knives. After using it for quite some time to improve the cutting ability, I simply flattened the primary grind so there's only one single bevel grind. This is around 6.5 degrees per side, and to give you an idea of just how low that actually is, there's your standard Mora, and you can see how high the grind is on the salt compared to the Mora, and of course the higher the grind, the lower the angle. The angle on the Mora is around 11 degrees per side, and again this is 6.5, significantly less. So it cuts very well, and it's also not in any way, shape or form fragile. The only problems that I had with it is that there's still a lot of steel up around this area right here. So this is all full stock thickness, and again, even though the edge is very thin and very acute, the grind is still not that high. So for example, there's a Spyderco Temperance with a full height flat grind, and you can see it's a continuous taper, so it takes quite some time for the steel to get the full stock thickness. Now what that means is when you're cutting materials which can exert a force on the whole blade, you do see some effect from having this thicker stock up here. Of course, if you're just carving woods and stuff like that, only the very edge matters, so this is still a very nice grind for that. But again, I've really liked this blade. I've had it now for almost 7 years. You can see the clip is very worn. It has developed a bit of up and down play and a bit of side to side play, and it doesn't have an adjustable pivot. But I mean, this is one of the more inexpensive knives from Spyderco line. And again, really like this, ultra durable, and of course the H1 steel is fully corrosion proof. So I wanted to bring some more life back into this so I could start putting it more into rotation and expanding the scope of work. So what I did was put a full flat grind on the blade. Now, right now, this goes and it leaves an apex bevel which is around 15 thousandths of an inch thick. So this is the primary grind and this is the apex bevel, and that apex bevel is only 6.5 degrees per side. It's very acute. I think I may use it like this for a while and then bring the edge all the way down just to see. I can definitely go under 15 thousandths because that's still a bit heavy for what I'm using it for. I don't think, I'm not going to be using this to cut coat hangers in half and that type of stuff, or pounding it through heavy knots in wood. So I think around 5 thousandths per side, definitely no more than 10 should be stable. So again, it started off looking something like this. This is after a mod already, and then I will convert it to full flat grind. This takes around 10 minutes on a 36 degree ceramic belt from Norton. As Gav pointed out quite some time ago, they're in a whole different class above the standard aluminum oxide belts that you get. They cut much faster, they cut much cleaner, they cut much cooler, and they wear at a much slower rate. So no reason not to buy them. Of course, this finish is still very rough. You can actually feel the scratches in it. I may bring this up to an 80 grit finish. Not really that concerned about it because again, this is sort of a user work knife, but I will now go ahead and flatten the other side. Here's the salt after the flat grind on both sides. The primary grind is 3.5 degrees per side. There is a very small apex bevel that you can see down here. I reduced the thickness on that down to 5 thousandths, and that's at 6.5 degrees per side. So right now, this is one of the thinnest cutting blades that I have. So again, primary flat grind, 3.5 degrees per side, apex bevel, which is only 5 thousandths of an inch thick, and ground at 6.5 degrees per side, and I usually run this with a micro bevel at around 10 degrees per side.